In this video, I want to talk a little bit about even numbers. It's always been fascinating to me why markets move to even numbers, and as I mentioned in the text portion of this lesson, uh, I had some explanations on that, and then I guess one of my common sense analogies or people think in common numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. But whatever the reason, if you look at charts, prices will have a tendency to go to even numbers. Oops, hope that didn't disappear. Anyway, they'll go to even numbers. All these lines here with the circles, those are even numbers. All right. Look over here on the right hand side. Those are all even numbers. Now, how could you use that? What benefit would that be for you to know that? Well, wouldn't it be beneficial for you to know where the price may come down to and place a protective stop? You wouldn't want to put, as an example, let's say that um, let's say that you were long the market here on this position, and you thought that the market may go up, all right, and you got long that market, wherever. Let's just say that you got long that Well, let's say that you got long that market here, expecting that price to go back up, all right. And for whatever calculations that you used, you thought that the market may come back down, and if it does, you don't want to take a risk more than like down into here, right? Well, you wouldn't want to place your protective stop just above this even number. That would be foolish. Knowing that if prices come down to even numbers, well, you don't want to stop at an even number. You want a protective stop at an odd number just below it. In this case, like 90.75, 8 975, all right, uh, which is a tick underneath this. Here you'd want it at a tick underneath here if you had a protective stop, right? Now then, taking profits on orders. Don't get greedy, all right? As an example here, let's go back over here to key, all right? And you can see that key on this uh, is worth $12.50 a tick. So let's say that you were looking at getting out of this market up here, for whatever reason. Well, don't place your protective stop at an even number, all right? Even though that the markets tend to go to an even number, I would place it just below an even number, and don't worry about the $12.50 that you might have missed out on, because you want the price to trade through it. Because if it doesn't trade through that price, you may not get out. Your order might not get filled. So place it just a tick below an even number. Same thing would apply here. Place your stop just a tick below that even number. All right. Your limit order, not stop. I'm sorry. Your limit order to take profits here. All right. Now, if you were doing some Fibonacci, oh God, do I love Fibonacci. If you were doing some Fibonacci work and you thought that that price may come back down, well, in this case, it surpassed the 61%, so it's not a real good example. But let's say that, well, this may have been a 50 over here. Let's move this over here. Get a little bit more accurate picture if we can here. Here. Markets have a tendency to retrace 50 to 61.8, or I call it 62%. This area in here, the chart's getting very, very busy. All right, but it would have a tendency to come back down here to the 50, 62%. So if I wanted to enter that trade, I could have put a limit order. In other words, I could have put a going over here and put a limit order here to buy that market if the price came down to that 61.8% level, which is here. The markets are closed, so I can't do it. But put a limit order down here to 62%, and then a buy stop just below that, and risk maybe $100, thinking that if the price goes up and doesn't come down, then I don't get filled. But if the price does drop and comes back and tests that 62%, then I get filled down here and put a stop down here below it somewhere and take very little risk on that. And I'd have been up on that trade, gotten stopped out if I hadn't taken profits, but I would have. So anyway, just bear in mind that prices have a tendency to go to even numbers. So place your stops, protective stops, just below an even number, and your limit orders to take profits a tick or so below an even number. It'll save you some money, make you some money, and play around with it. I think you'll like it.